This map gives me great nostalgia for the first few maps I created, and is pretty fun to play. I'm LegoBro, and today we're going to be looking at Mob Battle Arena by TIJD4Jan and SuperJanL. As always, the download is down in the description. He describes Mob Battle as a PvE map where you fight creepers with kits in an arena. He also says that if you only have a short amount of time and don't know what to do, you can download this map and begin a war against creepers for just 2 minutes. Some creepers will drop items like diamonds, emeralds, or nether stars. There are plenty of other things to do if you don't want to use the normal arena. And I thought this explanation covers it pretty well. I will add that there is a custom crafting area where you fight creepers, collect items, and then craft new weapons from them. Also, there's a few missions that you can do and a couple extra game modes. So now let's move to the buffs scoring rubric. Buff stands for building, uniqueness, fun, functions, stability, and then we combine these scores for an overall score. Each category is rated out of 10, and then the overall is rated out of 10. To start with, let's look at the building of the map. Now, building isn't just the blocks used, but how they come together and also how you feel walking around in the world. I noticed with this map, a lot of the blocks were obsidian, and it made the entire maze very plain. And that kind of took a lot out of the map. I think it could have been a lot more enjoyable if a bunch of different blocks were used. Also, in the campfire quest game mode, I noticed that there is bedrock and command blocks. Now, I don't know exactly why these were used. I'm assuming because they were completely blast resistant, but they don't look very good. I don't know how to put it nicely, but I would recommend using the no griefing game rule if you haven't already, and then you can build out of anything. But I do like the maze layout in the map. I believe that this maze worked pretty well for the game mode, and that's because when you play the game, you want to both dodge and also go full on and attack the creepers. You want to remove the line of sight so that you can hide for a little bit so they don't blow up, but then you also want to run and attack them because their drops are useful to upgrade and to unlock other things. So overall, I would rate the building as a 2 out of 10. Next, let's look at the uniqueness of this map. Now, the uniqueness is how different it is from other maps and how many ideas are completely unique and different from every other map that we've seen. I believe this idea of killing creepers and upgrading and getting kits has been a little overdone. A lot of the classes we see in most class-based systems. You've got archer and tank and a few others, but also some of them are unique and kind of fun. So there's a good mix between classes that you're familiar with, but then there's a few that you want to explore later once you are more comfortable with the game mode. But maybe rename some of the classes so they feel a little bit different. A lot of games have archer. Maybe give them an adjective to make them sound cooler. But that's just a simple idea to make the game feel just that much better. I did like for this map the use of vanilla mechanics. So in the map there are creepers and charged creepers, and we all know that if a creeper that's charged kills another creeper, charged or not, then that creeper drops a creeper head. So the map actually uses this mechanic and uses those as currency. It changes your playstyle a little bit. You're not just going around killing things, but you also want to chain kills. So I really did appreciate that. And I also appreciated some of the unique potions. They're always fun to try out. And also I really liked how the crafting system played into upgrading your character. Since this map just uses vanilla creepers, I have to lower the score quite a bit. I feel like if you added your own custom creepers, it would change the experience quite a bit, and you could also do quite a bit more with some of the classes and maybe with some of the mechanics as well. So for uniqueness, I have to give this a 2 out of 10. Next, we're going to look at how fun the map is. Now, fun is hard to put on a scale, but it's just how enjoyable the map was. So for this map, I feel like there could have been waves or something more to unlock. and an element of replayability would also help quite a bit. I feel like once you unlock the classes or the kits, then it's really not too much after that. There's not a whole lot going on in terms of progression. The crafting system was pretty fun. I feel like it should be more implemented into the main game rather than just a side mission. So maybe a creeper drops random garbage that you think is not very useful, but then if you save it, then you can maybe craft something later. But I had quite a bit of fun playing this. But with just one person, I feel like it could be pretty fun for maybe 20-30 minutes once you unlock all of the classes. After that, there's not really too much to do. The missions aren't too enticing. They don't seem like they're going to unlock anything. They're more just something that you can do. And I felt like they were kind of out of place. So for fun, I'm going to have to rate a 4 out of 10. Now let's look at the functions of the map. Functions is redstone, command blocks, actual functions. These are the things that basically run the map. I found that in this map, they all worked pretty well. There wasn't anything that was too off. I did notice that when you pick a class or kit, that it didn't clear your inventory, so you could keep spamming classes. Now I believe that if you did clear the inventory, then players would be a lot less prone to cheating in items. A lot of the mechanics were pretty simple, and a lot of redstone was used, I noticed when I looked in the back. That's not going to be too big of a problem for a map this scale, but if you make really big maps, it might lag quite a bit. So I would be cautious of that. I really appreciated the crafting system. Those are kind of hard to pull off if you're new to command blocks or functions. And also the shops were pretty simplistic. They were not very well organized. I believe that villagers, since it was an item for an item, you could use the villagers just to trade those items, and that would make it a lot easier. I also found that the name tag was somewhat confusing, and I believe that the name tag is actually just to show different statistics on the side. So maybe if you craft a trident, then it shows how many of those you've crafted, how many nether stars you've picked up from killing creepers, and so on. So there's a few different statistics. Maybe have a way of showing that, and the color changing name is, I'm not going to say too much about it, but I found it pretty confusing. And along with that, I would make PvP off, so friendly fire, turn that off for each team. So for functions, I give it a 4 out of 10. Finally, stability is a really big issue in maps. Stability is basically how many times do bugs show up and how bad are the bugs. So with this map, I found that the clear commands with the equip of kit kind of broke a little bit of the stability since you could cheat in items real easily. It wasn't too big of an issue, that's more just an honor system. But along with that, the armor stands for each class or kit were not invulnerable, so you could kill them. And that wasn't too big of a game-breaking issue, it didn't break anything really. It made it a little more confusing when picking your kit. But the biggest thing for me in terms of stability was the campfire quest. You may have noticed that I didn't talk about it too much and for the uniqueness or fun. And that's because I wasn't really able to get it to work at all. So that is a pretty big issue if that's one of your main components of the map. I figured it wasn't too big of a component of the map, but after a while the main arena gets a little boring and the crafting system got a little boring. So maybe the campfire quest added something else that would have helped the map a lot. I don't really know, I couldn't get it to work. For stability, I'll give it a 6 out of 10, since everything worked except for the campfire quest. This would give us an overall score of 3.6 out of 10. I wouldn't get discouraged by this score. A lot of the problems are relatively easy to fix, and I think that this map has a lot of potential, but also you as a map maker have a lot of potential. So it's definitely on the right track, and these few minor improvements can really take it to the next level. So for your next map, I recommend trying to use commands more than redstone, a lot more, and then focusing on your builds as well. Thank you TIJD4Jan and SuperJanL for making this map, I really enjoyed it. I would also like to thank you viewers for watching this. If you have any suggestions for upcoming maps, please share them with me. And also, if you have any thoughts about this map, share them down below as well.